Welcome to the most haunted place in the world. Once a year, between the months of March and May, when the sun is at its zenith, when its rays fall directly on the earth, something incredible happens. All the doors of Mohenjo, Daro open up. But this discovery by archaeologists wasn't what they were expecting. It was just the beginning. Because that day they also found weapons that didn't look like any weapons from that time. They looked modern. And since then, historians have been arguing whether ancient Indians really used nuclear weapons for 1,000 years ago. Was there a nuclear war? And if yes, what happened to its evidence? Hello, and welcome to the story of today. This is the actual footage of Mohenjo Daro's excavation. But did you know that before the excavations, nobody knew about the existence of this city? No historical records, no folklore, nothing. The city was lost until one day a farmer saw some artifacts and reported it to the authorities. And so the excavation began in the year 1922, and then a few decades later, another similar city was found not too far from here. We're talking about Harappa. Both these cities belonged to the Indus Valley Civilization, which we believe flourished around 2600 B.C. Declined around 1900 B.C. It was home to 5 million people, maybe even more. It was one of the largest civilizations at that time. And yet, all we know about them is their cities. Their language remains undeciphered. Their social structure, religion, culture, their way of living, all of it is a mystery to us. But one thing archaeologists found inside these cities were weapons. Weapons unlike anything they had ever seen. So much so that a new theory was born. Ancient India had nuclear weapons. If you think this is crazy, wait till we show you the evidence they found. In today's video, we'll take you back to those mysterious cities and find out if ancient Indians really had nuclear weapons. You'll have to decide if you want to believe in the theory or not. So let's begin. Did you know that many scientists believe that the Indus Valley Civilization may have originated near Iran and migrated to India due to climate change? And when they left, they took their knowledge with them. This includes knowledge about fire, metallurgy, agriculture, mathematics, astronomy, science, art, engineering. In short, they took everything. Now, while researching about this civilization, one historian found a book called The Destruction of Kosala, written in Persian. And this book talks about a civilization that lived across the borders of Iran and India. In fact, it mentions 7 great cities with 7 advanced technologies, just like the 7 wonders of the world. But what interests us is how it describes the last city, a city known as Mogadishu, because it talks about weapons that could destroy entire cities. And remember, this book was written in the 8th century AD, almost 2,000 years before nuclear weapons were invented, but it mentions a weapon that can do exactly that. When Alexander the Great invaded India, he fought against King Porus near the Beas River. He won the battle, but he lost one of his best friends, General Hephaestion. History says that he died of a fever, but the locals say he was killed by a poisoned arrow. What if this was the first recorded use of a nuclear weapon? After all, the area has been studied for radiation. And in 1970, an Italian scientist claimed that there had been an explosion here 3,000 years ago. But the Indian government denied his claims. To this day, nobody knows what weapon this was. In 2015, researchers from the Bobha Atomic Research Center found unusually high levels of radioactive elements like thorium dioxide and zirconium dioxide. They conducted several tests and finally concluded that these elements were produced during the nuclear fission process. But the question is, why would they be found here? And why are there no other radioactive elements? The answer may lie in these structures. Archaeologists found all of these structures across the Indus Valley civilization, but they don't know what they were used for. One theory is that they were used for religious purposes. Another theory is that they were storage houses. But what if they were used for generating power? These days we have seen a lot of experimental archaeology videos. People recreate ancient inventions and techniques, and every time they do, it amazes us. For example, this recreation of an ancient Indian pot that can continuously boil rice without burning it. Or this traditional Indian water harvesting system that's still used in many villages. There are other examples as well. So what if the people of Indus Valley were actually advanced? What if they actually knew how to generate electricity? Maybe these were power generation plants. But none of this makes sense unless we find the real evidence. And we do have one major piece of evidence. Let's talk about the Great Bath. Most historians agree that this was the biggest public bath in the world. At that time it was built 4,000 years ago, and it was 11 meters long, 7 meters wide, and 2.4 meters deep. It could hold 24,000 liters of water. Just imagine bathing in that. But what interests us is what was found inside it. According to reports, traces of uranium were found inside the Great Bath. Remember, this is the same element that's used to generate power in nuclear reactors. Also, strange burnt bricks were found nearby that don't match the local soil. In fact, these bricks contained the same elements that were found in the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. If you think this is unbelievable, wait until we tell you about the Lathal Dock. Historians say that this dock was used for loading and unloading goods. It was huge, around 2 kilometers long, 1 kilometer wide. But if you zoom into this picture, you'll see these lines. These lines resemble the nuclear reactors of today. They're just simpler and obviously made with bricks. But look at the design. Is it possible that this dock was used to generate power? Was it some kind of a power plant? And if it was, why don't we see any evidence of it today? Why hasn't it survived? Now, before anyone dismisses these theories as far-fetched, we must consider the fact that nuclear elements have been found at many ancient sites. For example, at the Grand Canyon, in Egypt, in China, even in Greece. Scientists found abnormally high levels of radiation at the foot of the Sphinx. And then there are these artifacts found in various countries. Some of them glow green under UV light. What does it mean? Do these pieces of evidence hint at a nuclear war in the past? Or is it some natural phenomenon that we don't know about yet? Today, 4,000 years later, scientists are trying to find the answers. We mentioned a weapon that could destroy entire cities. Let's talk about the one that we all know about. The cosmic ray gun. The cosmic ray gun is an alleged powerful laser-like energy weapon capable of destroying entire cities and possibly airplanes and helicopters. The funny part is this was discovered in the 1930s, and even today nobody knows what it is. Its origin is unknown. Its purpose is unknown. Nobody has been able to replicate its mechanism. It was just one of the many artifacts found in the Indus Valley civilization. Finally, let's come back to the story. Historians believe that the Indus Valley civilization fell apart due to climate change. But what if they're wrong? What if the civilization didn't end, but went underground? What if the people of Indus Valley are still alive? This is a scary thought because, according to one theory, they have been guarding the entrance to hell itself. A small village in Rajasthan is home to an ancient giant temple. The temple is deserted. It is rarely visited. Locals believe it's cursed, and that's why we kept our visit for the last. As the sun sets, we reach the temple. Right now, there's nobody around. In a few minutes, the priest will lock the temple and go home, but before that, We enter inside. The temple bells ring faintly. There's no wind around, yet the bells keep ringing. We turn around, but there's no one. As the darkness spreads, we hear the sound of whispering. It's coming from everywhere and nowhere. We enter deeper inside, and suddenly our torchlight falls on a statue. It's the statue of a Tirthankara. And behind the statue, we notice a door. Could this be the secret passage? We pull the rope, and the door opens. There's a staircase leading down, a secret staircase hidden from plain sight. Before we go down, we hear a thud. Then a whisper, "You shouldn't be here." We ignore it and start going downstairs. Suddenly, the flame of our torch starts flickering. The whispering grows louder. In the darkness, we see a figure. It's standing right behind us, watching us. We run to the exit, but the doors are closed. There's no way out. Trapped inside the temple, we realize that it doesn't want us to leave. Then we see the flames of a diya. It's flickering in the dark, showing us the carvings on the wall. These are the carvings of the past, the people whose souls are trapped forever. The people who never meant to disturb the peace. The voice echoes in the darkness. You came seeking history. Now you are history. As the screen fades to black, the only sound you can hear is the whispering. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and share it with your friends. Subscribe for more horror videos and give us feedback in the comments section. And don't forget to follow us on social media.